Do you ever ask yourself why you put so much pressure on yourself? Do you ever pause and wonder why you do that? Or do you ever realize that you're actually doing that? But tell me what it's gonna get you, what putting all this pressure on yourself is going to get you. But that's also a note to myself, you know, I'm talking to myself as well as a video diary. Have you gotten that far in life where you've gotten, are you still alive because you've put so much pressure on yourself, or are you because you started lending yourself grace? What would happen if you started being less harsh on yourself? Have you ever pondered over that? Do you ever realize that when you're talking to yourself, sometimes it's not the most positive inner monologue? And when it's not the most positive, do you try to make it neutral, or do you try to make it go from -100 to 100 in no time? Do you try to do that? Which means you try to take it from negative to 100, from 100% negative to 100% positive in no time. You know, that's how we set ourselves up for failure, because there's no middle ground in this. There's no balance in this. If you want to get towards a positive mindset, towards being gracious towards yourself, towards lending yourself grace and cutting yourself some slack, there has to be a phase of neutrality in between. You cannot go from 100% negative to 100% positive, you know, that's what I mean. The reason why I decided to make this video is because I see a lot of YouTube videos which actually are supposed to be motivational. They're supposed to push you and all that, and they tell you to stop being lazy. Most of the times they tell you to work hard and grind. But I'm here to tell you, have you even looked at what your personality is, what type of person you are, before trying to consume these sorts of videos and judging yourself by your ability to climb a tree when you're actually a fish? You know, that quote, something like this: if you judge the ability of a fish to climb a tree, it will always feel it's stupid its whole life, because a fish is made to swim, not to climb a tree. Similarly, when you watch these videos which are telling you that you're lazy and you need to focus more and all that, do you ever stop to realize and ponder if that video is contributing to all the noise and the stimulation, extra stimulation that you don't even need in order to focus? What if you're a person like me, introverted, feeling, intuitive, perceptive, kind of towards that person, or what if you're a manifesting generator who is a jack of all trades but not necessarily master of none? Does that mean that, you know? I used to be in the same boat. I used to consume all these videos. I used to watch these videos that telling me that I have to work harder, I'm lazy, while I was quite burned out, you know? And that would end up making me feel worse. So what's the solution to this? How can we overcome burnout? How can we stop telling ourselves that we are lazy when in fact we're not, and we're dealing with mental health issues and all that? You tell you that you're lazy, you have to know yourself if you're actually being lazy or if you are not. You have to be self-aware. You have to have a good enough self-concept to realize what you're doing and where you are. I mean, there's no harm in going to watch a video telling you how to be motivated for lazy people if you actually know that you're being lazy. But when you are not actually lazy and you're burned out, when are you burned out? When you are constantly tired, you don't have energy to do anything, you have lost appetite, or you eat too much. Google the symptoms of burnout. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not the licensed professional to tell you. I'm here to tell you from experience. It can do so much harm. It can do so much harm, because you're gonna end up pushing yourself even harder, and that will cause more illness, more disorder in your body, more disharmony. So it's time to stop. It's just time to stop. Please stop. Lend yourself grace. You know who I'm talking to, and you know, if this is true, that you're not lazy. You are not lazy. You're just tired. You are endlessly tired. You're burnt out, and you need to do things that spark a joy in your soul. Society as general is quite capitalistic and leaves no time for play. Why? You know why? Creativity doesn't get funded by all these big companies, because it's not like sports. It doesn't give money to them back. When you fund other stuff like sports, whatever else I'm talking about, like research, technology, you get the money back through the people. They buy the phone, new iPhone, whichever comes out, or Samsung, whatever, like it doesn't matter the brand, it comes out every single year, for example, or every other year or so. They get the money back, right? But creativity is not like that. No, there's barely people who sponsor creativity. Yes, there's art internships, there's art residencies, but they're quite competitive. There's barely enough slots to cover all people. Do you get what I'm saying? So when creativity is not encouraged by society, which is quite capitalistic and like looking for profits and gains, what do? You start giving it up? No, the answer is not to give it up. The answer lies in continuing your job, for example, to fund your creativity, not giving it up, okay? And carving time out for your creative endeavors. You don't have to go partying every night or every other weekend. You don't have to go to this meetup, that meetup. You can set boundaries. You can tell yourself how many meetups you're going to have every month or every week. You can tell yourself if you're going to which weekends you're going out, which weekends you're not gonna go out because you want to work on your artistic projects, you know. And why I'm talking about creativity while talking about burnout? Because I feel like creativity is an antidote to burnout if you're experiencing burnout due to a corporate setup. But there's a distinction here as well. Creativity can also lead to burnout. Relentless pursuit of creativity and creative genius and creative perfectionism can also lead to burnout. That's true. So the root of it all is not just capitalism and all that. It's just the lack of balance of all this stuff, you know. So my dear, you're not lazy, you're just burned out, and you need to let yourself grace and take it easy and make sure your inner monologue goes not from minus 100% negative to plus 100 positive. You can justify things. What I mean to say is, when, for example, if you have, for example, a disease like IBS, for example, condition like IBS, and you come somewhere late accidentally, you weren't supposed to be late, and you end up berating yourself for it, what would you tell yourself while you're berating yourself for it? You would say something like, I'm so stupid, why did I get late? I shouldn't, it's all my fault, something like that, right? But going from negativity to neutrality is like, this is not the end of the world. I will thank the other person or wherever the appointment is for waiting for me, and I will try to plan ahead of time next time. That is kind of the neutral way. What is the positive way to lend yourself grace, cut yourself slack? Well, you have to acknowledge your extenuating circumstance. You have IBS and you got late because of that, and it's not your fault. So you would tell yourself, it's not my fault, it's IBS and I don't have a control over it. So, you know, guys, I want to end this video with this note that please lend grace to yourselves. You're doing the best you can. There's so many things going on in the world. There's so many world news, world events and all that, and there's so much stimulation these days through social media, so many different apps. So please cut out the noise. Please make sure you know which noise is actually worth it, which noise should be just shut down, and how much noise should be coming out, how much stimulation you can bear. No, not how much stimulation you can bear, how much stimulation you can afford to have in one day or a week, and beyond which you wouldn't be all right. And you have to know your limits. You really have to, because otherwise it's going to be a very steep cliff and sticky end, not end, but something like that, a very sticky path, you know, where you can get stuck. And I don't want you to get stuck, because I've been there. So yeah, please take care of yourself, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.